Hey guys, welcome back. It's Jack from CasinoIncomeAcademy.com. And I had a couple of emails over the last couple of days for a few different things that people were either suggesting or asking. So one of them was they wanted to see more of the live shoes from our challenge series for the Baccarat Revolution. So go back and watch the last few videos about Baccarat Revolution. It's our latest module with one of our pro teams that plays Baccarat for a living every day of the week. This is a system that we've collaborated with them once again to be able to put out publicly under an agreement that we have. So check out you can check out the latest newsletter. By the way, we have a brand new newsletter. It came out today. It's way overdue because I didn't have any time. So that newsletter came out today. That newsletter has the cheat code, not the cheat code, the discount code for you to be able to get Baccarat Revolution at a discount. So just go sign up for the newsletter. Click into the new newsletter that's right there on the website. Just go to the website, go to the newsletter, and if you have not purchased Baccarat Revolution, you can do that. If you do not have the other monster modules that people are killing it with, the last two modules, AI Roulette Blueprint, AI Bubble Craps Blueprint, or Casino Diversification Toolbox, you can send me a message. I'll make sure you get the cheat codes. Why do I keep saying that? The discount codes for any of those. And if you buy more than one, if you're going to buy more than one, let me know so I can give you a special deal to purchase multiple of the modules. I've been doing that a lot for people. Just send me a support ticket. All right, so I'm going to show you some live shoes again for the next 2 days in the challenge for Baccarat Revolution. These are live shoes. They're not simulated shoes. And we can talk about that and give a couple of hints that hopefully people that bought Baccarat Revolution are listening to. We had sent out an email last week maybe with some updates in regards to some tips and things last week, but I'm going to give you something else today too that even people that have not Baccarat Revolution should listen to. Before we get into that, let me tell you something. Boy, people must have a lot of time on their hands. The trolls are out in full force, not only on our YouTube page, that I have to just knock out these trolls. And then people wonder why, for quite a while, I had the comment section turned off. The comment section is back on, but I have it really strict, that anything ridiculous or stupid is going to be eliminated. You know, and if I see the same trolls, and you know who you are, Mr. Jackass Troll from over on the Roulette Master channel, you know, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I don't know why I waste my time with these people. It's my fault, but it's incredible. If you believe that there's no way to ever make a profit in the casino or ever win from a casino game, you know, if you are that miserable human being that doesn't understand the use of probabilities versus the general term, the general math behind the house edge, then you're an idiot. I mean, there's no way I can tell you. I've shown you the difference on this channel between house edge and probabilities, which are not the same thing, and how to utilize money management. And if you don't believe that you can never walk out of a casino with $1 extra than you walked into, then you're a complete moron. So if that's the case, I don't even know why you're on my channel or Wayland's channel or Roulette Master or anybody for that matter. You must be the most miserable human being in the world if you feel that that is a good place to put your energy if you have no absolute interest or desire or belief structure in anything that any of us do? What are you doing there? Your life must be absolutely as empty as hell. So that's the last thing I will say regarding that. We want to be positive on this channel. You know, and I know there's so many other YouTube creators in this space that feel the same way. If you don't believe in anything that we do, if you don't believe that anybody ever walks out of a casino with an additional $1 to their name, then I don't know why the hell you're wasting your time here. Go do something else. But apparently you have nothing else to do in life. All right, so let's get into it. No more negativity. Those people don't belong here. All right, so the last video that I did, not the last video, but the last video I did on Baccarat Revolution, we showed the first 2 days results in this challenge that we have our guys doing. And if you remember, the challenge was to try to make 5 units. That's it, try to make 5 units. And with Baccarat Revolution, we have to have 6 results prior to us being able to jump in and use the actual system. All right. And the way they're doing it here is they're doing it from the beginning of the shoe. It doesn't have to be right exactly at the beginning of the shoe, but we try as hard as we can to stay from the beginning. What we also explained is that we wait, even though there's a trigger after the 6 results, we use that as a virtual. Right? We don't make a bet. And we explained that in the last video. We also explained that if that virtual block loses, we do not jump in on the next block. We wait for a virtual block to win. So in this situation on day 3 of the challenge, something happened that you won't see happen that often, and you'll see the benefit of the virtual play. We had a virtual losing block, or they did, followed by another so they had to do a second virtual block, right? Second virtual block. That block did win, which means now you can be triggered into the system, and you see it wins 1, and then it's up to 2, right? And then it loses this third block. So this is a weird choppy shoe, right? It's a little bit weird, but again, no big deal, because it wins the next block, which brings us back to break even, because we're using very conservative money management that's taught in the module in the course, right? And then you're back to being up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and then we do what we explained in the last video, which is this player doesn't stop right when he hits his mark of 5. He continues until there's a losing scenario, right? And he gets up to 6, but he continues, and then he goes back down to 5, and that's when he finishes. Okay? All right? So that's one shoe. Shoe number 2 was easy as hell. The virtual trigger happens. He goes right in, wins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks in a row, right? Which equates out to the 5 units that he's up, and then continues until he has a loss, and here's his 5 units in shoe number 2. Shoe number 3, same exact thing as shoe number 2, and this happens quite a bit. If you jump in and you have those winning blocks immediately, this is what the shoe looks like. If you're going to use his methodology of continuing past your +5 until you have a losing block. And you saw, well, you'll see it again here. Same story here in the 4th one for the day, the final one, but this one went on to win 2 extra blocks after the 5, right? 2 extra blocks. And this one also had a losing block here. It went 1, 2, 3 units up, losing block, which brings it back to 0, and then goes right back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units up, hits his win target, continues on, and then waits for that first losing block and ends with 6 units. So that day finished with 10, 15, 17, what am I saying, 17? 15, 21. 21 units for the day here. Now, let me just tell you something that I think I mentioned. Yeah, I did mention in the last one. You make 21 units like this in a day. And if you're using the bankroll builder plan and moving up levels of what your base unit is worth, this is spectacular. Because with this plan, it's calling for a 12-unit bankroll. So we were already up to, I think, level 3 on the last one. So you would be moving levels again on day 3. Okay? You'd be moving multiple levels on day 3. All right. Day 4. This one starts out choppy. Right? A little bit. Your virtual is here. It jumps you in. You're up 1 unit, but then you lose the next block. You win the next block, you're back to -1. So you're keeping it as close to break even as possible. And then you run off those winning blocks in a row. Okay? And finish with the +5. The second block for day 4 is a losing first block. No. Is that a minus there? 1, 2. No, I guess that's not a minus. I must be seeing something there. So he goes up to 2 units. Then he has a losing block. It pulls him down to -1, right? But then he wins the next block. He's back at break even. He's up 1. He loses another block. He wins the next block. He's down to -1. So do you understand how the money management here keeps you super close? So this block, this shoe was a little rougher. But even with it being rougher, you see the highest it was down was -3. And then he works his way back. And he's all the way back to the target of 5. Continues on until he has a losing block and he finishes with a +7. So here's the choppiness. This can happen. You need to be prepared for this. But that's the difference between a conservative money management approach and going down the road of jumping off a cliff. He rode right through these little chops and this chop here, the wins and losses of the blocks, and he still ends up with his +7. And then, where is it? The next one is easy, right? So you had a choppy one that finished strong, and now you have another easy one where he finishes with a +6, right? Simple. The last shoe of the day, he did this shoe. This one started out choppy. You had a win, you're up 1. You had a losing block, winning block, back to break even, and then rattled off the 5 blocks in a row to win. And then what happened here? I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what happened here, guys. I may have blacked something out here. I don't know if he continued to play. I don't know what happened here because maybe this is a 6. I don't know. But whatever it is, this shoe ended up with a +5 also. So there is the third and fourth days. The third and fourth days of our +5 challenge. And you've seen shoes that were so easy, right? You can't get any easier than this, right? You've seen shoes that were a little bit stressful. A losing block, no big deal, right? You saw shoes that took a little bit longer, like this one, and it ended up making more money than the +5. Because of that extra little exception rule of continuing to play until you have a loss. So this one was a little choppy, a little wonky at the beginning, and you still ended up coming through it with, with an excellent result. Now, does that mean you can't lose a shoe? Does that mean that there's not a possibility of having a stop loss and ending at a certain point where there's multiple losing blocks in a shoe, and you decide that that's your stop loss because you don't want to go down the ladder and have one shoe bust you in any meaningful fashion. And the answer is absolutely. You can, what you decide to use as your stop loss, right? You can see in this shoe, it was choppy, but the highest he was ever down, or the lowest, was a -3. So maybe you decided after doing testing, which of course is the big part of every module we give you, test, on your own, not just watching the videos and running the play. That would be the worst thing you could possibly do. You need to have everything shown to you through simulations on your own and live through it to be able to understand everything possible that can happen. And maybe after doing that, maybe you personally decide that you don't want any shoe to take you down more than a -7 or -8 or whatever you decide. Now we haven't had any of those in the challenge where we've been down anywhere near that. I think the most we've seen is a -3 here. Maybe in the first video there was a -4. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. You'll have to go back and look. But controlling the negative side happens through the right recovery, and we show you 2 different ways of doing the recovery, 2 different money managements. But then you have to make the decisions of your win targets and your hard stop losses. And the way you come to those conclusions is by doing the simulations, is by learning the concept and doing it and doing it and doing it. And then the numbers themselves, the data speaks for itself. You don't create the perfect stop loss. You don't create the perfect win target. The numbers will dictate that. Now, I know from the data and my own personal belief structure with the usage of the money management and this system that the sweet spot for us is, +5 to +6, +7 units in a shoe. 4 to 6 units is my sweet spot. That's why he picked the 5 target. But maybe you're not that guy. Maybe you want to play every single shoe out, whether you give back the +5 or whether you make +12. That's up to you because you're going to make that decision after learning the concepts and the systems and simulating it. You're going to make your own decision on that. It's just not the way I play. And it's not the way, our pro players, most of them play. They're looking for that 5, 4, 5, 6 and out. They want to lock up the profits and move up the bankroll builder plans and get to whatever levels they achieve. All right? So that's it for now. Sorry about the diatribe about Mr. Troll, but that's the way it goes. There's always going to be miserable people in life, especially if you put yourself out there and you produce books, movies, music, poetry, systems, concepts, teach people things. There's always going to be those miserable trolls that hate everybody that does anything positive in their life. So it's unfortunate, but I guess we just need to roll past those types of people and keep moving forward. And that's the way it goes when you put yourself out there like I do on these videos or have websites or teach people anything. There's always going to be those clowns. So have a great day. Be positive. And we'll see you on the next video.